Okay, great. All right, wonderful. So we're going to get started with our meeting right now. And first thing, well, I guess having our brief conversation, we sort of did a warm up, I guess, but I did most of the talking. So I would like to hear from you. It's summer right now in Vietnam, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I would like you to tell me which season you like. Do you like winter or summer, and why? So I'll start with two.
Yes, actually, here where I live, only two seasons. That is, rainy and sunny season. That's it.
Really?
And actually, it's here now is the rainy season. It's lasting from summer to winter. And
Really?
I for myself, I myself like prefer the rainy season.
You
Because
prefer the rainy season?
yes, sometimes because when the rain when it's raining, I feel it's very romantic. If I can sit in a coffee shop and take a cup of coffee, enjoy the moment and just look at the rain in the water is falling, it's really cool. And sometimes if I can sit in a car when I'm moving traveling, the raining falling on the screen, that's really really beautiful, cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
Wonderful. What about you, Lily?
Yes. For my favorite weather is winter because it's not too hot as summer and it's not too cold like winter. And with the autumn, I can easily like walk around the city. Vietnam, Vietnamese women, when they walk in the street, they always like cover all like their face, their body, their leg.
Right.
Yes, it's very difficult to enjoy the moment. So I prefer the autumn. With this, for me, it's also like romantic, like weather, so I can enjoy this. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. What about you, Tao?
For me, I think I prefer winter. Although in Ho Chi Minh City we have maybe only 1 week of the cold weather, but like it's become a very special time for all of how to say Saigonese people like me. Like at that time is the only one time in the year that we can wear some kind of sweater, and also feeling the cold weather around. It's chill and it makes me feel very happy. So therefore, sometimes we also try to plan to visit Đà Lạt because that at that place the weather also cold. So it reminded me about 1 week a year in Ho Chi Minh City during the winter period.
Awesome. Great. That's okay. No, that's really interesting. Now, for me, if you see this jacket, I haven't worn it for months. I think it's the first time I'm wearing it in 2 years. No, in a year maybe, because it's usually very hot here. We only have 2 seasons in Namibia, and that's summer and winter. So because Namibia has a lot of dry area, so because it's like I said, there's a desert. It's a desert, semi-arid country. It only rains for about, and not everywhere. It only rains for about 3 months, maybe in a year, and the rest is really hot. And it rains in summer, so you get a really hot day, and then it cools off with a bit of rain. And where I am, sometimes the rain is very heavy and then it stops and then it'll calm down. But this year we had a lot of rain, which means we're going to have a very cold winter. And I like winter because I can wear jackets and keep warm. And when it's hot in summer, I do not know what to do. So winter for me is just easier for me to take care of myself. So yeah, so today I just want to share a very quick topic on the subject of, well, basically, confidence. So for my opening speech, I am going to talk a little bit about self-confidence, especially when it comes to public speaking. And I want to share some ideas that I would like to talk about. So my first question, you know what glossophobia is, right? Have you heard of the word glossophobia? Glossophobia is the...
No, I don't.
Ah, great. So here's a nice fancy word. Glossophobia means the fear of speaking in public. The fear of speaking in public. In fact, let me copy this word and put it in the chat. So if you look, I'm going to send it to you in the chat so that you have it there. Glossophobia is when people fear public speaking. It is one of the biggest fears in the world. Not necessarily biggest in terms of intensity, maybe, but definitely the most popular one. About 75% of people today, out of close to 8 billion people, fear public speaking. That's a huge number. And there's some other fears that people have. There's arachnophobia, there's acrophobia, there's all kinds of other phobias, but speaking is the most common fear. Now, what is it that makes people scared to speak publicly? So when there are high stakes, for example, if you feel that someone is going to lose respect for you, or you might lose your job, or you might get embarrassed. These are some of the reasons why people get nervous. And also another reason people get nervous is because of comparisons. They compare themselves to other people. So when they hear someone else speaking, they start worrying and thinking, oh my goodness, I am not going to speak that well, or I am not going to say things as nicely as they do, or my voice sounds funny. And then at the same time, when you have a lot of people watching you, when you see people looking at you, you start to become very self-conscious. So sometimes that's what makes people nervous. Another thing is your inner voice. Have you ever wondered, why is it that when our inner voice speaks to us, when we're about to do something, maybe speak to a group of people, it's very rare that the inner voice just says, this is going to be great. You're going to do such a wonderful job. It's usually, what if I make a mistake? Do I remember my notes? What if I forget what I was trying to say? What if I fall? It always has that negative self-talk. And then also the fear of feeling judged. People do not like being judged. And when you do public speaking, a lot of times people are going to be watching. So you feel that they are watching you and judging you at the same time. And another reason, mistakes. And because of all of this nervousness, we start to feel very small. But why is confidence important? Because when we speak with confidence, it lets us gain trust. Have you ever been met by a salesperson that is nervous? If you haven't, I'd like you to imagine that. Somebody who says they want to sell you a product, but they seem absolutely nervous. Do you think you're going to trust them? It's going to be very difficult to do so. And then at the same time, if someone is nervous, it's very difficult for them to trust you because maybe you're not an expert in the topic. So for example, I know in Vietnam that a lot of people like coffee, and I want to sell you some coffee from Namibia. But if I start saying things, and sounding very nervous and not so self-confident, and I say things like, well, I think my coffee is really good, and I would like you to try it. Maybe you might like it, and I hope you can. You're not going to be very confident in the coffee that I'm trying to sell you. But if I speak with conviction, you will believe me. You will know that, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. And also, when you're not nervous, when you speak with confidence, you are very, very, very clear. People will hear what you're saying. Your pronunciation is better. Your pace is going to be controlled. You're not going to speak too fast. And that way you get your message across. And then if you're not nervous, you're not going to be very distractive, not at all. In fact, when one of the things that make it difficult for people is when you're nervous, you start making mistakes and you start fidgeting or you start doing things that make you nervous. But when you start behaving like that, when you start doing those things, what happens is your audience also starts to become nervous. Have you ever sat in a speech or listened to someone deliver a presentation and they were absolutely nervous? What happened to you? You also started to feel uncomfortable, right? And because you were feeling uncomfortable, you couldn't pay attention to what they were saying. So it was distractive, very distractive behavior. So then the other thing is stage presence. If you're confident, you are going to allow yourself to have great stage presence. You'll be able to talk with people, you'll be able to conduct yourself, all of that, and everything will go swimmingly well because you're not worried about other things. You're focused, you're in the moment. And finally, your vocal variety. When you're speaking, if you're nervous, your voice kind of closes up and there isn't going to be a lot of variety in it. You're going to have your highs and you're not going to have your lows, and you're not going to change your pace. You're just going to be stuck in one place and your speech becomes monotone. And if you're speaking fast, you'll speak fast from beginning to end. And if you're speaking quietly and softly, you'll speak softly from beginning to end. But when you're confident, you allow yourself to feel free, and your emotions can also come through in your voice. When you're excited, you sound excited. When you're serious, you sound serious. When you're sad, you allow your emotions to come through and your tone carries it. So that's the reason. Those are some of the reasons to be confident. Now, how to sound confident? What do you do when you're feeling nervous? How do you make yourself feel better? Well, there are a couple of tricks. There's a saying that goes, I don't know if you have it in Vietnam, where they say, fake it till you make it. Have you heard that before? Fake it till you make it. Do you guys say it in Vietnam as well?
Yes, I know that.
You know it? Okay, great. So I don't really believe in fake it till you make it, except when it comes to public speaking. And I'll tell you why. Because when you are nervous, right? You are nervous. You can't deny it. It's true. But here's the thing. When you start to act confident, when you start to sound confident, when you start to behave confident, eventually you are going to start to feel calm. You're going to start to feel confident. So how do you control that? So when you're nervous, pace yourself, slow down, speak calmly. I remember one day I was giving a presentation and I was nervous because of the people I was talking to. And I was speaking so fast and I was making mistake after mistake after mistake. But it was only when I just stopped myself, took a breath, and calmed down and spoke slowly. And then my thoughts started becoming more clear. I started making less mistakes. So that made me confident. And that made me appear confident as well. And then being natural and authentic. When you make sure that you are being genuinely you, when you're not pretending to be someone else, if you like humor and you use humor, if you're a person who smiles a lot and you smile, or you just like telling stories, or whatever it is that, however you are when you're comfortable, if that's how you're behaving when you're doing a presentation, you will come across as confident. And using stories and humor, that also makes the crowd relax because you help them feel at home and at ease and they can relate to you. And when you use humor, you make the tension go away. And then also silence and fillers. When you're nervous, you don't want silence. When you're nervous, you don't pause. When you're nervous, you want to speak fast. And if there's a gap and you can't think of what you want to say next, you, what am I trying to say? That's what happens. You start filling in gaps. But when you're calm, you sometimes allow silence to also work with you. Sometimes you want people to think about what you said, so you pause. Or you even ask a question and say something like, would you like to be a better public speaker? And you allow that silence to let them think about the answer to that question. What season do you prefer, summer or winter? And then you let your audience think about it. And allowing that also makes you feel confident. And it also lets you collect your thoughts and calm down. And then focusing on positive feedback. When you're speaking to an audience or to a group of people, it's very, especially if it's a big crowd, sometimes you'll find people on their cell phones. Sometimes you'll find people talking to each other. Sometimes you'll find people just not paying attention. If we focus on those people, we start to become a bit more nervous. Why? Because we start trying to win their attention. Maybe we start to speak louder or faster, or start speaking in a way that, we're trying to appeal to them. But what you can do is you can pay attention to the people who are really listening to you, those that are keeping eye contact with you, those that are nodding their head when you're speaking. That will also start to make you feel confident. And then you can go around the room, make eye contact with different people. And when you feel when you feel that the time is right, when you're going to land that punchline or make that valid point, look at that audience member or that group of people in the audience that are giving you that positive feedback, that are smiling while they're listening to you. And that will help you become comfortable. And that's the last point, that be comfortable. If you're wearing, let's say, shoes that are really hurting, that will be a distraction to you. And your mind will be on your sore feet instead of focusing on enjoying your presentation. Or if you need slides to help you present, or if you need notes, there are ways to do that to help you be comfortable so that when you present, you can be confident. I'm going to stop this presentation right here, and we're going to move to the next part of our of our topic today. So far, are there any thoughts? What are your thoughts about being confident? Tao, do you have any comments?
Yeah, not really a comment, but I think it's very useful tip to learn, and I think we need to practice more in order to well manage the situation, calm down ourselves, and also better control our feeling, our anxiety feeling, and also being like more clear in present our ideas. I think that's the reason why we join this kind of club, so that we can learn the tips and try to practice.
Great, wonderful. So we are going to do some impromptu speaking, and in that impromptu speech, I will give you feedback, and then there'll be a point in time where I will also give you some time to prepare a speech, and then I'll also give you feedback then. And hopefully these tips will also speak into helping you become more confident. So definitely. Great, wonderful. Lily, anything from your side?
Yeah, actually, I learned that in EIY lesson before. However, your remind help me to like remind the lesson. Thank you so much.
No, wonderful. That's great. That's great. Two?
Yeah.
About confidence, yes, I'm grateful for all your tips that you gave. Um, in my opinion, I think the topic today is self-care. So I think if we take care, we love ourselves, self-care, we love ourselves and believe in ourselves, so that we can have more confidence to do anything.
True, true.
Yeah.
Because part of self-care is also getting prepared. You know, how you think to yourself. Remember, I was talking about how sometimes those negative thoughts make you nervous. In fact, yeah, so at this point, we are going to have okay, well, I don't want to say debate, but yeah, a discussion with the three main things: the self-care, self-compassion, and self-confidence. Do they all fit? Do they all fit together? Are they three separate things? Do they all come from one place? And since you brought it up too, what do you think? In terms of self-care, how important is it? What about self-compassion? Shouldn't we be just a little bit hard on ourselves so that we can get things done?
Yeah, I think when we love ourselves, we care about our mental or physical health, care about our emotion. That is the way we care self-care. And yeah, sometimes if we can have always in okay, we can emotion. Sorry, I missed.
No worries.
Okay.
While you think about it, let me ask Lily, is self-compassion an important thing?
Yeah, I think self-compassion is very important. Before we have compassion with others, we should have compassion with we should have self-compassion first. I mean, like before we have compassion with other people, we should have self-compassion first.
And does self-compassion, in fact, I'm going to ask Tao, self-compassion, does that help with self-confidence? Does it help with self-care? Or is it something separate from those other two? Okay, I think maybe Tao's not there for now. But Tu, what you were saying before, have you managed to think about how you want to communicate it?
What do you mean?
Oh, Tu was saying something, and you know, in terms of self-compassion.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea about compassion.
Oh, okay. But okay, let me ask this question. What does self-care, self-compassion, and self-confidence mean to you? How do you practice it in your life, or what do you think about it?
Yet every day, like the way I do to get self-care or self-compassion is that I built a good habit for myself, like to do exercise every day, like 30 minutes for jogging. Yes. And keep learning, keeps improve myself. That is one way to get to self-care or to get a compassion, self-compassion.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes.
I'm so jealous. I'm bad at jogging, but I need to start exercising. I keep saying that. What about you, Lily? How do you practice self-care, self-compassion, and build your self-confidence?
For me, with self-care, I always take care of my body. Like I eat the healthy food. I do the exercise like yoga. For self-compassion,
Mẹ đau, con là mẹ đau quá, hôn mẹ thôi nhé.
For example, when I have the mistake, before I always blame myself. However, right now I am I not force myself too much, like push myself work too hard like that. I still balance between the working and exercise like that. And for like self-confidence, from in my opinion, I think I am the person who have the big confidence. Yeah. That's what I do.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So Tao, how do you practice self-care, self-compassion, and self-confidence?
I think that's very important to me, especially in my job. I got the pressure every day. So it's very important to be able to balance our work and our life. Therefore, I really care about myself. Like after stress day, I will do something to reward myself, like go to a massage shop to have like 30 minutes massages to feel like, okay, we done for a day and now it's the reward. And similarly, I also try to treat people well, because if we want people to treat ourselves well, then we should be the one to give first. Yeah, so it's about self-care and also compassion. In terms of confidence, I think it's also very important to our life, because if we are confident, we can like self-manage our life, our interest. and also we can influence people around us to buy in our ideas and also helping us in decision making.
Right. That's definitely true. Great. So I wanted to ask, so now I've got a couple of questions that I'm going to put up on the screen. And I'd like all of us to share our ideas on it. See if we all agree or if there are places where we might disagree. And we just have that discussion. Are we good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Great, wonderful. So my first question is this one. Where does your confidence come from? And I guess the part where it says, how do you overcome them? I mean, sorry, where does your fear come from? And how do you overcome them? So who would like to start this one? I think we'll all take a turn in starting one of the topics. Okay, I will start this one. So for example, one of my fears is that if I do a presentation, because I do a lot of public speaking and sometimes emceeing and things like that, if I do a bad job, then it's going to affect my business. It's going to, I do not like the feeling of, let's say, if, like I emceed an event a few days ago, and if they were not happy, I was not going to be very happy as well. So my fear of not doing a good job is really not something I can tolerate. And where does it come from? I think it comes from the fact that from knowing that there is a lot at stake. I need to make sure that I do a good job so that I can continue to do the work that I do. Because sometimes all you have is your reputation. So if you maintain a good reputation, if you maintain a good record and your customers are always happy, then that is good. But if your customers are not happy, it could spoil a lot of things, and then you'll have to almost start all over again. So that's my fear, and that's kind of where it comes from. Lily?
My turn. Is it my turn?
Well, that's, mm-hmm.
Okay. So for each person, we all have the fear. For my case, I have the fear that someone accuse me. When I speak something or when I write something, when I share my idea, I always think that, oh, someone tell something about me, they chirp me, they think not so good about me. However, when I try to overcome them, and I feel that what their opinion doesn't matter to myself. Why I have to care about them? So I practice ignore people opinion. However, I still like keep their opinion to improve myself. However, I don't push myself too much. Like I think about their opinion too much. I just like what I can keep to improve. It's okay, I can keep up. But however, what is negative, too much negative, I will avoid. So that is what I overcome how my fear. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
That's some very good advice. Yeah. Tao, I see that your camera's on.
Okay, I think for me, where does your fear come from? For me, the fear has come from our nervousness that we are not like so good in presenting in front of people, and also from our inner voice. Always something in our brain saying that you need to prepare more, you are not so ready for that presentation, something like that. And for me,
Right.
how did I overcome that? I think firstly, I try to do more preparation, although it's not my like my characteristic, because I love improv. I love to be spontaneous in
Nice.
responding to things and yeah, things happening. But then I know that in presentation and in order to have me to be more confident, I need to spend time to practice, to prepare, and to rehearse my material and my content. Secondly, I try to tell myself that I'm having the knowledge required for the topic. Therefore, I'm there to share my views, my knowledge to the others. So I need to be confident in order to gain the trust from the audience, and also in order to have the right focus to share the content to my audience. So that's my
Wonderful.
sharing.
Thank you very much. That's, yeah, so much wisdom in these clubs. I should really take notes so that I can also look into areas that I can improve in. Like, Tu, are you there?
Yes,
So
it's my
yeah,
turn.
so what do you have to say about where your fear comes from and how you overcome it?
Yeah, everyone can agree that many people agree that we all have the fear when we in the public speaking. I can see that many my college, a lot of from my college, they are feel nervous when they do the presentation. Myself too. So whereas I can see from my opinion, from my case, my fears is come from my inner voice actually, because I always have the doubt myself. I think is it all because my major in finance, so what I say, all the report that they give to people, my college is sound complicated, and I doubt myself. Is it my information is my content is difficult for them to understand? Sometimes they just do like this, and I think when I look at that, I think, oh, maybe what I talk, I speaking, what I telling to them is complicated. So almost is come from my inner voice, and so how I can overcome it? Yeah, I practice a lot, where I have a well repair on my report, like make it simpler, give them the simple charts, the reasonable information that they can firmly understand when the charts pop up, and yes, when I have a well repair, I can give the explanation is very clearly, so they can the listener can catch up my information. And yes, but after that, I can believe that my information is value for them. I gave them the value information to help them make decisions, to give them good recommendation on their job, their work, business. So all that things make me more confident.
Awesome.
Yes, thank you.
I really like that. Sometimes I think the mistake that a lot of people make is when they lack confidence, they feel that if they make themselves sound more like an expert by becoming very complicated and using big words and terms and concepts that are very difficult for people to understand, that it is a better thing, but it's not. Making things simple so that people can understand, that's a very good strategy. Great. Yeah, I'm learning a lot from you guys. So let me ask the next question. So the next question is, why do we often compare ourselves to others? And how can we overcome that? Because right now there are 3 topics left. So someone can take this one, someone else will take the next one, and someone else will take the last one. So who wants to take this one? Does anyone want to take this topic?
Let me take it. It's not an
Great.
easy topic, but let me try. So I think that the human, right? We're always thinking how we are compared to the others in order to improve and in order to be a better person of ourselves. So I think that's positive. That's good. At least it gives us the self-awareness about our current stage, and then we can learn from the others. Yeah, to be better. And but then sometimes comparing ourselves with the others become very stressful, right? Like I comparing with you, how good you are in public speaking and in giving all the tips to us, and I don't know when can I become a good speaker like you. So that makes me feel stressed because of that comparison. But I do learn and try to overcome it by being positive. Instead of feeling stressed that, oh, I'm not as good as him, and I don't know when will be the time for me to be at that level. I try to focus on how you are doing your own stuff, and then try to learn from you, and that becomes my focus for improvement. And by thinking that, I think the tension and also the stressful level has reduced a lot. That makes me feel calm, and it makes me feel positive in keep learning and keep improving myself.
Wonderful.
So that's all.
Well done. That was absolutely wonderful. So who's going to take the next one? In terms of the last topic, I guess it's human nature to compare ourselves to others, but when we decide that we are on our own journey, all of us are on our own paths. Yes, we can learn from others, but at the same time, it doesn't have to be a competition. It's about personal development and looking at how and what we need to do personally. And even though we can be inspired by others, thank you very much for that, Tao. Who would like to take the next topic?
You should show us the topic first.
Nah, I think I won't. Now I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna.
Okay, I
Who'll
will
take
get
it?
silent. I will get
Okay, Lily.
yeah.
I beg your pardon.
Yeah. It's, I hope it's not a surprise topic.
Well, here's your surprise topic.
Yeah.
What what causes your anxiety and stress?
Anxiety. Let me see. Stress. Okay. Okay, let's start. Um, last year I got stressed and it make my how to say? It made my I have pain in the stomach. Like you know when like we very stressful and our stomach will like also pain. And
Yeah.
I go to the hospital and doctor asked me about my like routine, my eating time, my sleeping time, and she said I kind of healthy person because I always like eat in the right time and always sleep and everyday exercise. However, I still like very like stressful and it makes my stomach like very painful because she said when I like stressed, my brain will have some activity and it will make the my stomach have some activity like have the acid. Yeah. And she said, yeah, because you are very stressful, so you got this pain. And she told me that I should like work balance between work and like my life, so it will help my my body is better. And I I check I refresh myself why I have this stress. And then I found that in my work, I always like expect myself too much. I always want to do more than what I expect. For example, like when the my boss set KPI A, I always set KPI in myself like A plus. And
Right.
I always want to get that because I always want to show to everyone that I can do like better than other. So that's much like my brain's own way run, own way activity, own way thinking. And one day it's tired and it must myself stress. So that's the first reason why I get anxiety and stress. The second reason that I have many projects, many work in my life. So the deadline come to come to my life every day. So every day I have to run the deadline. So it's also make my my brains always like like not calm down, always oh tomorrow deadline, today I have to do that. So it makes myself like too much, working too much. So that's the reason, the two reasons that why I become stressed. And in the COVID time, when I have more time for myself, and I know that if I don't keep time for myself, I will like die one day. Yeah, I see on the like newspaper or TV like many young people work too much and they like suddenly dead. Yeah, die in the bedroom or in when they take a shower like that. And I feel that I cannot keep my health like that. So I decide to do yoga every day and also sleep earlier and wake up earlier, and also I reduce my task, reduce my project in my life, and also when I work I don't expect myself too much, and I know my limit. My limit is here, I cannot put my limit there, so it's too hard for myself. So that's my story. Yeah, thank you.
Wow, that's also very inspiring.
Yeah.
Great. And I'm glad you're at a place where you know that, you have to not be too hard on yourself. That also goes right to self-compassion as well, not beating yourself and driving yourself too hard and knowing your limits. So well done on that. And finally, two, you have no choice. There's your topic is
I'm ready.
you're ready? Great.
Mm,
So here you go. Do you
you
sometimes have negative self-talk? And how do you face it and overcome it?
Okay. Um, I'm sorry. Ah, yes. Long time ago, I had fallen in these feelings like every day I have many questions down myself, like how bad am I, why I can make that mistake, and I always feel bad about the bad thing that I did. Mm, it make me feel less confident, make me feel hate myself, and I I realize that if it keep continue, I will be a failure, um, people, and uh, I I start to reading some books that help me to uh, love myself. Um, then uh, the good habit the good lesson that I have to kick out the negative self-talk is uh, every day, end of the day, I write down something on my book, like diary, to get to show what good things that I did in a day today, and what bad thing that I did have, and tomorrow what will I do to fix this bad thing. The second tips that I did is I always allow myself have a um, to do mistakes, because all of us always all of us can make a mistake. So why I have to uh, judge myself when I make mistake, because everyone can have the same things. So allow me to do to allow me to have a mistake, and just think about the solution for the next time. How can I can do this better? Get a lesson after a failure is the way that I overcome the negative talk from myself. So that is that is my story. Thank you for listening.
Wonderful. No, thank you for sharing. And I must say that one thing I admire is that all of you are very proactive in doing something about something you don't like. But I think one of the things that people forget, especially when it comes to self-care and things like that, it's realizing that what you say, it starts all in your mind. If you are not, you can take stock, or you can write down all of those negative things that you do right, do wrong, or you can just think about them and just keep thinking, why can't I get it right? Why am I making so many mistakes? And then do nothing about it. And it will just be a continuous cycle of self-doubt and negative talk and self-negative talk and things like that. But when you take actions, like, for example, you read books that will help, and you you also looked at the bigger picture. Other people make mistakes, so you're human too, so you make mistakes. And also, just like Lily and Tao as well, just doing things about the situation, finding a way to do something about it instead of just feeling bad or not being happy about it. So kudos to all of you. Congratulations. And I think that's a very good to be. So when it comes to self-care and self-confidence and also self-compassion, I think you guys are definitely on the right path. Great. So now this particular point in time, we're going to do our prepared speeches. So meaning we are going to take some time. We'll take about, I think I'll give you maybe 5 to 7 minutes to prepare a speech. And again, for those of you who have never been in a session with me, I keep on saying there's something I learned from my art teacher. My art teacher said, when you're given 2 seconds to do a drawing, do a 2-second drawing. Put a circle, put 2 lines, put lines, and that's a person. And if you're given hours to do a drawing, then you can draw details and shade in and things like that. So we're not looking for a speech that sounds like you've prepared it for months or for hours. We're looking for a speech that you're going to prepare in 5 to 7 minutes. And each one of us is going to pick a topic. So there are 3 topics, and I would like each one of you to pick one. And I'm not going to put them on the screen. So first, I would like you to, so who would like to choose topic number 1? Topic number 1, I'm looking around my screens.
Don't you show us the topic?
I will show the topic after everyone has picked their number.
Okay, number 1.
Number 1, thank you, Lily. But at least you're all going to have time to prepare. So who's going to take topic number 2?
My name is 2, so
your name is 2. So you, great. So 2 will take 2. And Tao, that means you're going to take 3. So here's the topic. Well, before I show you the topic, let me show you this slide. So, so like I said, you're going to prepare for about 5 to 7 minutes. The topic that you have chosen, I would like you to talk for about 4 to 6 minutes, right? So that's not too bad. That time is going to fly. And here are the topics. So we all chose 1, 2, or 3. So here are your topics. And it's exactly what we've been talking about. So topic number 1, prepare a speech about self-care. Number 2, self-compassion. And number 3, self-confidence. Are we okay with that?
Yes.
Great. So my time says it's 24 minutes past the hour. So about 31, 32 minutes past the hour, I'll turn my camera back on and we'll start our prepared speech section. So if no one has any questions, you may start preparing on your topic.
Yeah, no question.
Wonderful. All right. I think, yep, it's 32 minutes past the hour. We have had a bit of time to prepare. Okay. Are we ready?
So who first?
Okay, I think this time we're going to go backwards. We'll start with number 3 and work all the way back to number 1.
Now that I'm going to have more time to prepare because I'm the number 3. Unfortunately. Yep, okay. So I'm going to start, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me just pin your screen. Here we go. All right, take it away.
So, yep, thank you. So it's about self-confidence. And today I will share with you my story about how do I improve my self-confidence and how was it impacting to my career journey. So I still remember very well that the day that I got into a interview where I dreamed to be a general accountant. So I think I'm the same field with Miss Thư, right? I dreamed to be a general accountant in a international company, and that was the last round of the interview because I already met the CFO and do the test, and I passed the first 2 rounds. So the last round, I had to interview with the GM, and normally at that meeting they will check about your characteristics, whether you are suitable, you are fit with the company culture, and also your leadership skills. But then during the interview, I done very well for the first part, the part of self introduction, because I think I'm well prepared for that, and I got very familiar how to share to people about myself. And then it comes to the question where he asked me about my challenge in the daily work and how do I build my team and how do I build my career plan, stuff like that. And my friend become blank. I barely be able to say a word to address his question. It's because I'm not prepared for those questions. And immediately I know that I failed that interview because I cannot answer to the question that the interviewer gave me because my English level is too low to be able to like constantly address the question and gather all of my experience and translate it in English. And that become a very bad experience until today. You can imagine like that's your dream job and the door already open. You put one step in and the door closed. Something you feel like you stuck. You stuck to come into your dream. You stuck to make your dream become true. I learned from that lesson and I know that I need to improve my English skills. And I need to join as many interviews as I can in order to get familiar with all type of questions and to be able to deal with English conversation in all the circumstances. After that meeting, I worked hardly, joining all type of training from pronunciation, from English basics, and then try joining many interviews after that. Luckily, I got a job as general accountant in a French Vietnamese company. And still remember on that day, I do quite well in terms of the interview, but I remember the HR manager, she told me, did you try to remember your self-introduction part by heart? Because you did that part very well, but then when it comes to the situation question, I don't think your English is that good. Very funny, but they accepted me for the role. But then still, they lower down my pay because my English level is not sufficient for the role. You know how big the general manager, the general accountant is, right, Ms. Hu? So I
Yes.
joined the company, and
Yes.
I feel very grateful because I'm not so ready for the role, but they accepted me. They give me the opportunity, and I got it as a very big motivation for me to work hard and keep trying. Then after work at night, I keep practicing, I keep learning, improving my English, and until today. And actually, that story was back 10 years ago. And until today,
Wow.
I still not so happy with my English level. Therefore, I joined this club. I try to practice more. I try to expose more in order to improve myself. However, I also think that I'm a very lucky person because after that French company, I worked there for about 2 years. And then I got accepted to a very big international company named Unilever. So many of you might know about that company name, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a very great achievement that I got because at that company they require a higher level of English. And again, at that time my English level was just average, but they accepted me because of my knowledge and because of my can-do attitude. So I keep trying, and I think that's very what I learned from my lesson. Keep improving, keep practicing, keep exposing myself, and I get a lot along the way. I get better English communication. I get better experience in working with all people around the world, and I realize that it's not about the challenge in the interview, but it's more about exposing yourself and learning different perspectives. Be calm to get the challenge, but be open to learn from that challenge. And get back home, keep studying, keep learning, and we can become a different and better version day by day. So till today, I still learning English 5 days
Oh no.
a week. It's different because are you still hearing me? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Is there
Yeah, we
another?
can hear. I can hear you now. Yeah, we only lost you for a second.
Okay, yeah. Someone called me, so the connection is
Ah,
dropping. Okay. So I think until today, I still remember that day, the day I failed from the interview, and it keeps reminding me that we need to continuously improve our skills. Nothing become perfect if you don't try to practice every day. So I'm enjoying my studying journey, and I think that was for me to learn from my past experience, and I'm happy that I got failure that day, which helped me become much better person with better skill and being ready for a bigger opportunity. Thanks for listening.
Wonderful. Oh, that was very, very wonderful. You didn't need more time to prepare. You already had the speech in you. Thanks so, so much, Tao. And for number 2, we have 2.
Thank you for calling my name. Yes, self-compassion is the way that we can love ourselves. Before love ourselves, we love people. So the grateful is always the first thing that make me to have a self-compassion. I always I am grateful to whatever I did, or whatever people gave it to me. Whenever I get something from people, I always think about that and say thank you, and end of the day I have a time to memorize about what I had to say grateful to. Also, sometimes I use the self-talking to learn, to learning how to engage the positive talk. Keep going to give a conductive question on myself, like that is the way to give me positive emotion. Sometimes I say when I in the morning, when I brush my teeth, I look at the mirror and say, wow, today you look beautiful, and how good are you when you do this yesterday. And it makes me have a good emotion during the day. That is one of the way that I have for the self-compassion. Another lesson is about about the dot on a blank paper. Yes, you heard about that, right? So no, we can't. We shouldn't look at the dot because there are many beautiful things, many angle of the good angles of a problem. So just think about forgiving yourself when doing something wrong. That is ignore the how to ignore the dot on the blank paper. And the last things to give me self-compassion is do meditation. I read many books, and almost the author they give advice on how to inspire yourself. That is the good ways to meditation. Give yourself like a time for a day to think, to talk to yourself, and to think about every have a silent moment to think about maybe just keep silent and think nothing. That is also give a space, a pause to have good energy, to motivate, get more motivation, or get more confident or love yourself, and you can get a good energy. I can get a good energy to do the successful things in a day. So I learned a lot from the successful people, from the books. That's what I all about my sharing about conversation. Thank you.
Thank you very, very, very much. Really appreciate that. Thanks to. And finally, before I give my evaluation of all the speeches, we have one more speech, and that's going to be from Lily. Lily, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Harry, can you give me the host? I want to share the screen.
Okay, cool. Click on screen share.
Yeah. Okay. Later, now I will start my speech.
Okay.
So can you hear me clearly? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Can someone tell me what is the self-care? Thư, can you tell me what is you know about self-care?
Yes, self-care is how you love yourself.
Yes.
How to grateful yourself and inspiring yourself.
Yes.
Or just do something like good habit, or eat healthy, do exercise.
Yeah, okay. Harry, can you tell me what is you know about the self-care? No, I can't hear you. You muted.
Mute.
Sorry, I thought I unmuted. Self-care to me is how you make sure that you're okay, that you can do everything that you're supposed to do, because if you don't take care of yourself, you won't be able to function. So self-care is just making sure that you can be in a good space for a very long time.
Yes. So every day we hear people talk about that. However, I'm sure not everyone knows clearly about self-care. I checked in the internet. The World Health Organization defines healthcare as the ability of individual, families, and community to promote health, prevent disease, maintain health, and to cope with illness and with or without the support a healthcare provider. What do you think about that? For me, it's too long, too general, and too difficult to understand. And I have the define the self-care like what we do the best for our body and our mind. You know, I have the conversation with my sister. I asked my sister about how to self-care, and you know what she tells me? She told me, self-care is wear the beautiful clothes, eat the delicious food, go wonderful place, and use the expensive brand. Wow, she's right. However, it's not enough. Normally, we do the self-care. It's just for our body. Our body, how about the mind? So my sister asked me, so how we do self-care for our mind? I told her, okay, I will give you the example. When you stay in the company, you have many tasks, everyday tired, and you just want to wait until weekend to sleep. Yeah, and you feel too much. Will you ask someone to help you? And she said, no, I feel shy when I ask someone to help me. They will think that I don't have the ability to work. I want to do the best in the company. I told her, no, when you tired and you have many tasks and you need help, you have to ask someone to help you. And I continue ask you, you have many things to do in the company and your boss continue give you some tasks. Will you tell your boss, no, I don't want to do anymore. I have many tasks. Why you always give me? She said, no, I cannot say no to my boss. He will tell me that's very lower staff. I cannot. I told her, why you don't have ability to do, you still say yes. If you don't want to do, why you say yes? You can't say no. You say yes to them, but inside you say no. That if you have the self-care, when you don't want to do something, you can say no directly to the person and find a way to deal with it. And she said, oh, okay, I understand about self-care. Yeah. You can see about the conversation with my sister that not everyone know really clearly about self-care. With self-care, we still can, not about the body, we still have to take care our mind. Our mind, and also we have many things to do with our self-care to make our body, our mind to better. And also now I will give you the challenge about self-care. Here, can you see that?
Yes.
Yes, that is a challenge about self-care. So okay, I will like a gift to three of you. So first, I will you pick one topic and will you practice this for 1 week, and you can, yeah, and you will feel the difference. So would you will choose the which one? Yeah, we have stay apply for the whole day. We have stayed away from toxic people. We have learned to enjoy solitude or read a self-help book. Which one you will choose?
The first one, stay offline for the whole day. I think
Yeah.
that is the big challenge for me.
Wow. Why you choose that?
I think because I spend a lot of time on shopping, the boring things on from the internet. So I think
Yes.
this is waste of time. But
Yes.
mm,
Yeah. Okay. Very nice. So I hope you can enjoy that. Actually, I see that many people like spend too much time on the social and they forget the time for themselves. So it's good. It's a good challenge that to take this topic that stay offline for the whole day. So you will have the like very different day in your life. Yeah. Okay. How about Thảo? Which topic you will take?
I think I'm gonna take practice gratitude. I think it's very good advice, and
Ah, yes.
especially in my working environment, which is very challenge and pressure every day. So take a moment to think and try to be grateful about what people are doing for you
Yes.
and the thing that you got every day. I think that's a good practice for me to do
Yes.
every day.
Yes. I also like do practice gratitude when I eat something and I feel grateful for my food. Yeah, that also very good practice. How about Harry? I will give the gift for you. Which one will you take?
Wow, there's so many to choose from. I think I'll pick read a self-help book. I think there's a book that I have that I haven't read. I've had it for a very long time, and I think
Yes.
it's time I start reading it. So I'll read a self-help book.
Yes. Okay, you also remind me that I still have the book. Like last month I read, but until now I haven't done yet. Okay, I will take together with you take this book that read a self-help book. I will complete it in this month. Thank you. Wow. Thank you
All right.
everyone. My presentation is finished.
Thank you very much. Thanks so much, Lily. Well done. Okay, so let me unpin here.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, that was absolutely wonderful. I think all of you did so well. Can you give yourselves a round of applause? Let me go through the group real quick. Dao, whose speech was your favorite speech?
Sorry. So yeah, who is my favorite speaker, right?
Yes, which speech did you like, and what did you like about it?
Yeah, I think I like the speech from Lily. She's very
Mhm.
confident and she well control the stage, even though it's virtual. And I love
Right.
how you change your voice to make us feel like you have a conversation, real conversation with your sister. And also your voice very cute, so your speech is very attractive and also give a lot of helpful information to me. So well done, and also thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you, Thảo, Miss Thảo.
Okay, wonderful. Lily, your mic is unmuted. Um, which speech gave you something to take away and think about?
Yeah, my favorite speech is Miss Thảo. Because
Mhm.
I'm still young and like don't have many experience in working place. So with Miss Thảo sharing about her experience, so I feel I learned something to for my working. Yeah. Thank you, Miss Thảo.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
thanks.
And two, you're in finance as well, right?
yes. Yes, self-science.
Wonderful. And in your opinion, which speech spoke to you? Let me say it that way.
Um, uh, I agree that Lily has a good technique on her presentation. However, allow me to vote for Miss Thảo presentation because her information, her content is taught myself, because I have the same problems now as Thảo 10 years ago. So today I get some tips. I learned a lot of things from her.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So at least we've all got something to take away today. And that's really, really awesome. You know, just to do a very quick review of the session, I shared a presentation on confidence, right? And what makes us nervous and things like that. But a lot of that comes from what we think for ourselves and what we do for ourselves. And that comes right back to self-care, self-confidence, as well as, why do I keep on forgetting? Self-compassion as well. You know, so if you know that, for example, you're on stage and you make a mistake, self-compassion will allow you to not beat yourself up, because people make mistakes and you'll move on. And for example, self-care will also allow you to not be so hard on yourself, not to overdrive yourself. And self-confidence will also allow you to be comfortable in who you are and in what you do. So there's one little thing that there's one little exercise I want us to try out. And this relates to one of the topics that came up today. So without saying anything, I want you to don't think about a blue cat. You can think about anything you want, but don't think about a blue cat. Imagine anything. It can be an animal, can be a building, but it shouldn't be a blue cat. Whatever you're thinking of, don't think about a blue cat. Don't think about a blue cat. Don't. How many of you are thinking about a blue cat? So when you keep on thinking about what you shouldn't think about, when you keep on thinking about what you shouldn't do or what you shouldn't say, you're making it stay in your mind. So let's try another exercise. Now, I want you to think about a blue cat. Picture that blue cat. Is it standing? Is it sitting? But it's a cat that's blue. It's a blue cat. Whatever it's doing, think of a blue cat. Now, I want you to repeat the words after me. Pink elephant, pink elephant, pink elephant, pink elephant, pink elephant. But keep thinking about the blue cat, but keep saying pink elephant, but think about the blue cat.
Pink elephant.
So here's my question. What is happening to the blue cat? It's going away. You keep on thinking about the pink elephant. So this is where what some of you talked about today, that self-affirmation, that talking to yourself. It is more powerful than what you're thinking. So the same way, you know, when you look in the mirror, when you brush your teeth and say, you look absolutely gorgeous today, that is going to overpower the thinking that you have in your mind, that self-doubt.
Yeah.
When you think you're going to mess up and you keep on saying, this is going to be great. This is going to be great. This will be the best presentation. I am going to have so much fun. What's it doing to your mind? All those self-doubts, those self-talk, it's going to be overpowered. So we also have to watch what we say.
Yeah.
So what we say to ourselves is, so that's another way to fake it till you make it. Say the right things to yourself, about yourself, for yourself. and you are going to manifest that behavior, that confidence, that self-care. Get rid of that self-doubt. So that's the review for our session today. And I hope we had a good time. We're gonna just a little bit above time, but that's okay. I think because of some technical difficulties at the beginning, we started just a little late, but yeah, great. So I guess I hope I'll get to see you guys in another session in the future. And I trust that you're going to take this topic and the challenge that we were given by Lily. I need to read my self-help book. So I can't remember what everyone else has to do. And let's practice some self-care, self-compassion, and build our self-confidence.
Yeah, thank you, Harry.
Have a wonderful. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Tal. Thank you,
everyone.
Lily. Thank you, too. This was I had a lot of fun.
Me too.
Wonderful. So are there any questions or any comments that you want to end with?
Yeah, not so far.
No.
All right. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you for taking 2 hours out of your